Hey guys, in this video let's talk about, sorry, you would have probably read the title, right? So you know what this video is going to contain. This is episode 6 of my chat app using Ionic 3 and Firebase series. Let's just jump right into the code. Before jumping into the code, this video is sponsored by our patrons from our patron community from Patreon. So actually I got 4 patrons now. I got 5 I think. One of them pledged and I got a mail notification, but if I go to Patreon and check my dashboard, there are only 4 patrons. Maybe I don't know whether to contact Patreon or something. Anyway, this video is sponsored by our patrons, and I received a patron this week as well. His name is Martijin or something like that. Sorry if I am pronouncing your name wrong. Let's just jump right into the content. So we are starting from exactly where we left off in the last video. So we have just created a search option in our application, right? Next, let's just we'll continue with where we left off. Here we need to write a send request function, right? So that user can send a request to his friend and add him to his friend list. So I'll get into buddies.ts and then search user is done, send request. This will be the recipient. Okay, recipient spelling is wrong. Yes, recipient. Now what I'll do is I'll have 2 variables. One is the I'll just create a model for that. Request.ts. okay, and here I'll export just like this. Export interface connection request. Okay, sender string recipient string. Okay, the model files. Okay, this is created. Next I'll get into buddies.ts and then import that model file here. Import from models interfaces request.ts. okay, whatever. Oh, I didn't add anything here. Con request or something like that. What happened? Models interface. Close this. Okay, this is done. So I'll create a new request variable. New request is an object as con request. Okay, you get what I'm doing here, right? New request t, I forgot. And then inside this dot new request dot sender will be our user ID. So Firebase dot auth dot current user dot uid. okay, here I'll import Firebase from Firebase. okay, and recipient will be this dot new request dot recipient equals recipient dot uid. okay, now that we have our sender and recipient, let's just go ahead and create a simple validation. If this dot new request dot sender equals this dot new request dot recipient, then alert, you are your friend always, else we'll show another alert. So I'll get here and then give alert controller. okay, and here I'll add public alert controller. Go here and then let's success alert equals this dot alert controller dot create, and inside this dot alert controller dot create title request sent, subtitle your request was sent to plus recipient dot display name. Okay, and buttons will have just one button. Okay, I have simply created a alert success alert using alert control. That's it. Now what we will do is, just a minute guys, I'll grab a handkerchief. I'm already starting to sweat a lot. Okay, where were we? Yeah, now we have created an alert control. Let's just move on. So we'll have a request service specifically for Ionic G provider requests. Okay, and inside that request service we'll have a simple function to send a request. So this dot request service dot send request of this dot new request. Okay, has this been created? Yeah, this is created. Soon this will be created. So let's just go ahead and add this now itself. Requests provider from requests/requests. Okay, and inside this what I'll do is I'll add a comma, public requests service requests provider. Okay, very simple piece of code guys. I think you would understand. So what we are going to do next is, send request method is not there. Let's go ahead and create that. Get into request.ts. As usual, remove these two. These we won't be using, and this as well. This we won't be using, and this as well. This we won't be using. Okay, we are going to write a send request function. So first we'll import from models. We'll just copy paste from there. This one, right? We'll copy paste the next line as well. Okay, then we'll write send request request of conrad. Okay, you get what I'm doing here, right? So this will be where promise equals new promise, resolve reject, and this is a function. I'll write return promise now itself so that I don't forget. And before we jump into any hasty stuff, let's just create a new collection for storing our requests alone so that it becomes easier. You'll understand why I'm doing that. So I'll have fire requests, equals firebase dot database dot ref requests. Okay, and we are going to be storing all our requests inside this collection. So how we are going to store this? That's my next thing. So inside this, what I'll do is this dot fire request dot child, and for the child, what I am doing is I'm storing the child using the recipient key. Wait, I'll show you. Request dot recipient dot push sender request dot sender. Okay, you get my point, right? So what will happen here is, inside the request collection, new child will be created, and the child's key will be the recipient's user ID, and under that the new field called sender will be created, and in that field under that there will be a new node added because you are using the push method, and inside that node there will be a sender key with a value, and that value will correspond to the UID of the person who sent that request. Why are we doing it like this? You will understand soon. Rather than me talking about it, if I show you, then you will probably understand better. So inside this, once this is done successfully, then resolve, then resolve true, catch error, resolve false. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, or resolve success true. This is a better way of doing it, right? And error. Okay, what I'm going to do now is send request. A request will be pushed to the request collection. After I'm sending the request, I'm going to show the alert. So I'm going back to buddies.ts and this dot new, sorry, what happened? Yeah, dot, then there will be a response, and if that response dot success, if that response dot success, then show, not show, success alert, right? Why is this not getting? Oh, I closed this else here. Not present. Okay, success alert dot present. And what we'll do is we'll splice out the user as well, so that you don't keep sending multiple requests to the same person. So what I'm going to do for that is, this dot filtered users is our this thing, right, array that we are showing in our HTML page. If you notice, let key of filtered users. So what I'll do is I'll splice it out from the filtered users. How I'm going to do this? Let sent user equals this dot filtered users dot index of, there is an index of method in the array, and inside that what I'll add is recipient. Okay, and this dot filtered users dot splice, you need to do the sent user comma 1, the index of that element to be specified, comma how many elements to be specified, from starting from that index of the element to be index, if starting from that index. That's what is splice method. There is a lot of documentation, guys, kindly go through that. Anyway, so we have done that. We need code. Okay, and dot catch error, handle this as well, alert error, and else is closed, function is closed. Now we have a perfect function for sending a request. This function will create a request with the sender field and then store it in the requests collection. Now upon now request is done, right? Upon seeing this request, the user should take some action. That's the whole point of our application, right? Now how is this user going to see this request? He is going to see it in the chats page, right? He is going to see in his chat page. So we are going to show the requests in the chat page real time, and then the user can either accept the request or reject the request. That's what we are going to do. So to load the requests whenever the user opens the chat page, or if the user is already in the chat page, as soon as this guy sends a request, he should immediately get the request, right? So let's code right for so let's write code for that. Where was I? Yeah. So instead of ion view did load, we'll include ion view will enter. why am I doing this? So that when the user enters, before the user enters this, or before the user is about to enter the view, this will get triggered. So I'll import the request service. I already have that there, right? Buddy stop. I'll copy this from here and then add it to chat start. And then here also I'll simply public requests service requests provider. Okay, and here what I'll do is I'll write a new function, get my requests. Okay, a simple function, and automatically what I'll do here is this dot get my requests. So as soon as the user is about to enter the chats page, this get my request function will trigger, thereby getting all his requests and showing it on the screen. So what I'll do is get my requests, this dot request service dot get my requests, and we'll get into this dot request service and write code for that as well. So I'll get my requests. Inside this function, what I'm going to do is, again, it's not going to be a promise, don't worry. Should it be a promise? No, we are not going to return anything from here, right? Since we are trying to achieve the real-time function, functionality. So what I'll do is this dot fire request, right? Fire request dot child firebase dot auth dot current user auth dot current user dot uid. Why am I giving it like this? Because we need to get the requests received by that user. You get my point, right? In the request collection, we are storing each and every request under the recipient key, right? So when a user receives multiple requests, first it will go and check and whether the recipient key is already present. If it's present, it will just push it as a new node under that key. If not, it will create a new recipient key field, and under that recipient key, it will push the new node. You'll understand it better when I show, guys. I'm sorry, I know I'm not explaining this properly, but after writing the code, I'll explain it to you so that you'll understand without a hitch. Okay, so current user dot once value and snapshot. Okay, so I'm getting all the requests will be present in snapshot. So all my requests equals snapshot dot val. Okay, we'll have one more array where my requests equals a blank array. Okay, and inside this, what I'll do is my requests equals blank for where I in all my requests. Okay, and my requests dot push equals all my requests of I dot sender. So now what will this my request array contain? It will contain all the user IDs who have sent you a friend request, right? So your user ID, under your user ID, many nodes will be created, and each and every node will have a sender field. What will that sender field contain? It will contain the user ID of the person who sent you that request, right? So if I give it like this, you get my point. So if I give it like this, I already got all the requests from the Firebase collection, and then what I'm doing is I'm simply pushing the all my requests of i.sender inside my request. So all the UIDs who have sent me requests will be stored in my requests array, right? Now let's move on and what the next step what we are going to do is I'll say it first and then write code for it. There are two ways of doing the next step, guys. The first one, I'll show you the one which I feel you would understand a bit easier. The first one is simple. What we are doing is, once we get all the UIDs, we are getting all the users from our users collection, and then we are comparing each and every user UID with the UID in the users collection, and if it matches, we are simply taking that user and then storing him separately. You get my point, right? So that we can display it as a request on the screen. So you can't show a UID on the screen, right? You need to show the display name and the user's avatar maybe, and some details like that on the screen. So that's the reason why we are getting all the user details from our users collection using the UID. That's the method that I'm going to show now. I'm going to extract all the users from the users collection, compare it with my requests, and if both the UIDs match, then I'm going to extract all the details and store it in some value array. Okay, this is one way of doing it. The other way, I'll show you first this way, and then I'll talk about the other way. The other way is like an optimization technique. Okay, so first I'll have this dot user details. Okay, this dot user details, not this dot, here it is just user details, and after doing this dot fire request, this dot, we already have a get all users method in what's this name of this users provider, right? We'll make use of the same. We can just reuse that code, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import from dot slash user slash user. Okay, and inside this user provider, and what I'm going to do here is public user service user provider. Okay, and this dot user service dot get all users dot, then this response will have all the users. So I'll store this as well. All users equals response. All users is not there. Where all users equals response. And this dot user details equals a blank array. Now I'll run two for loops. One is for, you'll understand, for j in my requests, for not j, where j, for where key in all users. Okay, for where key in all users, and if my requests of j equals all users, not all users, key. Okay, then this dot user details dot push all users of key. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll do something fancy here. This dot events, we'll use events to create a real-time effect. I'll explain that as well later. So import events from Ionic. Angular. Okay, this dot events dot publish got requests. Okay, so the code has been written, and let me just check once whether I have written everything perfectly. This get all users will get users from here. So what this returns is an array, right? Yeah, what this returns is an array, and once I get that array, I have a blank array here. I'm looping through that array, and I'm looping through the key. I'm looping through all users as well, and then trying to extract my requests. If it's equal to key, yeah, key will be different, right? Yeah, key will be this one, guys. No, key will be implicitly set, so it will be 0, 1, 2, I guess. Yeah, it will be 0, 1, 2 since it's an array, right? So you might not understand now, but you will understand later. All users of key dot uid. Now you get what I was trying to say, right? So this will be like all users of 0 dot uid, all users of 1 dot uid, and likewise and likewise. Why am I changing it like this? Because this all users is an array, right? We return this all users from here, right? That stem pair is an array, we are resolving it from here. So if this is an array, then the array will have an implicit key set. So the 0th value of that array will be this user, the first value of the array will be this user. So if I just take var key in all users and try to iterate, then if I check for key, then it will be checking whether this uid is equal to 0, this uid is equal to 1 or something like that. But if I check it like this, then all users of 0 dot uid, which means the first users this field and the second users this field, like that. You get my point, right? That's why I'm checking like this. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, this is written. Let's get into chats.ts, and we will be subscribing to that event here as well. So I'll add events, and events. Okay, and Ion view will enter this dot get my request and this dot request. Why am I writing like this? I can simply go ahead and take this, paste it here, right? This dot events dot subscribe. What was that event? Got requests. I'll write a handler function, and inside this we need to access this. We need to access this dot user details, right? So I'll have a separate array called my requests. Okay, and this dot my requests equals blank. Every time I'm clearing that my requests array, and this dot my requests equals this dot request service dot user details. You get what I'm trying to do here, right? Because once this user details gets the values pushed into it, I am just publishing an event called got requests with a flag got requests, which means that every where I have subscribed to that got request event will receive a notification, and the handler function this will get executed, right? You understand the publish subscribe methodology that I'm using here in the background to achieve a real-time effect, right? I'll show you guys. You'll understand it better. So yeah, where was I? This dot request service dot user details, right? Then we'll take this. Before taking this, I will forget if later on. Ion view. Got it, right? Okay. I'm simply unsubscribing from that event when I leave this view. Now let me go to chats.html and then write a list here. So iterating the my request so that you can see all the requests you got from others, right? Let me just time lapse this. Okay, this is done, guys. So now we have some HTML code to handle this as well, and we have code to populate this HTML code. It's better if we use a zone, right? Let's try this. If it doesn't work, we'll use a zone. Okay. So yeah, guys, I just ran my app. Let me just log in and try sending a request to some other person. Tester 4. Sorry. And to simulate a different phone or different person, I will just open up another browser. So I'm clicking on add requests, getting a list of users, trying to send myself a request. You're your friend always. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, this is logged in. So if we send a request to this person, he should receive it in some dogs barking in the middle of night, guys. Ignore the dog noise. Okay. So if we send a request from this person to this user, then we should get a request in real time. That's how our code is written, right? So let me just try doing that. I'm clicking on profile and I'm looking at its display name. It's tester3. Okay, let me come back to chats, and then I'll try to shrink this as well so that you guys can see the real-time effect. Okay, it was tester3, right? Yeah, tester3. So I'm swiping tester3. Why is this not working? My mouse is broken. Everything is becoming broken, guys. Earlier my laptop was the one. Anyway, let me just click on add. A request was sent to tester3. Wow. You get a request here, right? You get my point, right? I just sent a request from this guy to this guy, and it appeared real time. And if we swipe here, you can see this add and trash can icons, which I gave just icons, right? Yeah. I'll maybe give something so that it looks meaningful. It looks awesome, by the way, but let me give add. Okay, and for this I'll give no. Okay, now let's try giving request from another user so that you will get an understanding of what I have done here, and you'll also see that multiple requests. Wait, you'll see that. Okay. I'm going to pick another user. This is the person whom we tried on, right? And this is the person whom I have logged in right now. I'll try with this guy. Okay. And I'll click on add. Okay. Now if I just This was the previously existing request, right? Now if I give again to test, now if I give this request again, this you guys username, what was that? Tester5, right? He should receive a request from tester5 as well. Let's see what happens. So I'm clicking on add buddy. Now I'll tester3 is here, right? So if I just swipe it and then click on add, a request was sent to tester3, right? And since we wrote a swipe function, splice function, it's getting removed from this list as well, right? So yeah, and here you can see the tester5 real time, right? The request got added in real time. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show you guys today. It's already a big video, so I'll wrap this episode up here. Wait, I'll show you one more thing. You might wonder, right? Suppose okay, this guy has no requests right now. This guy is tester5, right? This guy has no request right now, and this guy wants to send him a request. So what should happen? New node with tester5's this UID should be created inside requests, right? So I am sending a request now. Add request. Saw that animation was cool, much cooler on iOS than really. Tester5 add request was into tester5. In real time, you can see what's happening here. We received a request from tester4. So if you notice now in Firebase, you are seeing that it's added, right? And the sender is as usual this guy, which is tester4's UID. So in essence, you understand what is happening in the background, right? So as soon as the tester5 logs in, it will just go to that request, get all the requests received under his UID, and then display it here. That's all. So yeah, guys, this is the crux of this episode. Thank you guys for supporting me. I already talked about my patrons, I guess. Thank you for the patrons. Thank you for your money, I guess. Thank you for the support. And yeah, if you like this video, share it with someone else. Share this entire playlist with someone else so that it might help them in their future endeavors. And it might also help you to build try building out a new application like this. Anyway, we'll progress on with the videos. I'll try to release more episodes per week, and we'll try to finish off this series quickly. And I'm planning on a next series as well, using Angular 2 and Electron, and building desktop apps. And I feel that would be a lot cooler as well, and you'd enjoy them as much as you enjoy this series. So yeah, guys, I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.